signature punches. I told you he was going to
up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion, something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number one.
Excellency Turki Al Sheikh has said he wants to see Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. What is your honest thoughts on that as an opportunity and a potential fight?
Oh, it's always is a chance there, right? We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals, and always a chance.
Mayweather Jr., one of boxing's greatest defensive minds, has shared his thoughts on a potential major showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. As an undefeated champion who has already faced Alvarez in the ring and closely watched Crawford's rise in the sport, Mayweather's perspective is highly valued. He breaks down the fight by analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, while also considering the key strategies that could determine the winner.
To hang around Earl, had a chance to hang around Terence, and both guys, class act, both. I'm proud of Terence Crawford. I'm proud of him. But you know, after the fight, after all the Terence Crawford fights, I always text him or call him and say congratulations. With Earl Spence, same thing. You know, a lot of times you're gonna hear certain things. You know, I'm not jealous of these fighters. I'm proud of these fighters. I'm for real. I'm very, very proud of these fighters.
very nice.
Yep, those hooks straight.
Floyd not showing him. It ain't no game in here.
Mayweather's analysis is particularly interesting because, when he fought Canelo Alvarez in 2013, he was the first to highlight Alvarez's weaknesses. At that time, Canelo was an up-and-coming star with an impressive record. However, Mayweather proved to be smarter, better at defending, and a more skilled counterpuncher, leading to a victory. Mayweather won a majority decision, but it was clear that he had outclassed Canelo in the ring.
Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because you know, if you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think he's tough fights and difficult fights. That was a difficult.
2-minute rounds. Floyd Mayweather looking around like, you gonna do something?
And that smile.
Yeah.
Mayweather pointed out that Crawford's ability to avoid Canelo's punches and land clean counterpunches shows how challenging it can be for Canelo to defeat fighters with a sneaky, technical style. Over the years, Canelo has made impressive improvements to his skills, becoming a multiple division world champion and dominating in several weight classes. However, Mayweather still believes that a fighter with the technical ability of Crawford could present a real challenge for Alvarez.
In your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can't put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion, something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number one.
See anything tonight? Right there. He's pointing it at the
Floyd Mayweather has often spoken highly of Terence Crawford, calling him one of the best boxers in the world. Crawford's ability to effortlessly switch between orthodox and southpaw stances makes him one of the most unpredictable fighters in the sport. His high ring IQ allows him to read his opponents and adjust his strategy mid-fight, something Mayweather himself was known for during his career. Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. solidified his position as the top boxer in the welterweight division. However, the biggest question surrounding a potential fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is whether Crawford can move up to a higher weight class and handle the power of a naturally bigger opponent. Canelo is known for his devastating power, especially his left hook and body shots, which have broken down some of the toughest fighters in the world. Canelo is feared in multiple weight classes because of his ability to take punches without getting hurt, even after fighting as high as 175 pounds. This gives him a clear edge in size and strength over Crawford, who has never fought above 147 pounds. Canelo has also improved his defense significantly since his loss to Mayweather, adding head movement and upper body slips to avoid punches more effectively. However, Canelo still has a lingering weakness: his struggles against fighters with excellent movement and defensive skills. Fighters like Dimitri Bivol, who defeated Canelo with a dominant performance, used lateral movement, foot speed, and counter-punching to neutralize Canelo's power. Mayweather sees similarities between Bivol and Crawford, especially in the way they frustrate opponents with their boxing IQ. Crawford's strengths lie in his ability to control the pace of a fight, land precise counter-punches, and adjust his strategy based on his opponent's style. His knockout power at welterweight has been impressive, but against Canelo, the question remains whether his punches would have enough impact to keep the Mexican boxer at bay. One concern for Crawford is that he sometimes takes a few rounds to adjust before dominating his opponents. Against a powerful puncher like Canelo, a slow start could be costly. If Crawford gets caught with a big shot early in the fight, it may be difficult for him to recover, especially moving up to a higher weight class.
5 fighters right now in boxing. That's your top 5 right now in boxing, not your the top 5 in boxing right now. Right now.
Champions or just anybody?
Top 5 right now.
Shakur #1, hands down. Tank, he up there. Canelo, in a way. Tyson Fury.
Damn. That's now beforehand. Back, the back in the day.
Another Floyd round. Just not let his hands go enough. He'll never be able to.
Floyd Mayweather has shared his thoughts on the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. He recognizes that Canelo is an elite fighter, but he also believes Crawford's technical skills give him a real shot at winning. Mayweather thinks Crawford's superior footwork and counter-punching ability could cause Canelo some real problems. However, Mayweather also points out that weight plays a huge role in boxing. Canelo's experience in higher weight classes could be a major advantage, especially if the fight happens at super middleweight. In that case, Canelo would naturally be bigger and stronger, making it much harder for Crawford to execute his game plan. If the two fighters agree to a catch weight of around 160 pounds, it could level the playing field, allowing Crawford to keep his speed advantage while not giving up too much
Anything worthwhile, yeah, but
you know what? He's been off for the first
power. One mistake people often make is comparing Crawford's win over Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds to how he might fare against Canelo. Mayweather warns against this comparison, saying that Spence and Canelo are completely different fighters. While Spence was a dominant welterweight, he doesn't have the same power or physical presence as Canelo. Plus, Spence had never faced a top counterpuncher like Crawford, but Canelo has already gone up against some of the best defensive fighters, including Mayweather himself. Canelo has also shown he can take punches from bigger fighters, something Crawford has never had to deal with in his career. If the fight were to happen, there are two main ways it could play out. If Canelo can apply pressure, cut off the ring, and land his power shots, he could overwhelm Crawford and win by knockout or a clear decision. Canelo's ability to focus on body shots and wear down his opponents has been a key strategy in many of his victories, and it could be effective against Crawford, who's never faced a fighter with Canelo's punching power. On the other hand, if Crawford can use his movement, ring IQ, and counter-punching skills, he could outbox Canelo and win by decision. It could look similar to Mayweather's victory over Alvarez. The key for Crawford would be to avoid long exchanges and prevent Canelo from planting his feet and landing powerful shots.
Canelo needs to understand he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time. The power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
From a historical perspective, A fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford would be one of the biggest boxing events in recent times. If Canelo wins, it would further solidify his place as the top pound-for-pound fighter, proving that he can handle any elite opponent, no matter their style. On the other hand, if Crawford were to win, it would be a massive achievement for him, proving his greatness. Moving up in weight classes to defeat a champion like Canelo would put him in rare company alongside legendary boxers who overcame weight disadvantages to make history. Floyd Mayweather, offering his final thoughts on the potential fight, acknowledged Canelo's power and accomplishments. However, he leans towards Crawford due to his exceptional technical skills. Still, Mayweather remains cautious in making a solid prediction due to the significant weight difference between the two. If the fight happens, it would be a clash of two of the best boxers of their era. A battle between power and precision, which could define both men's legacies for years to come.
Much bigger than Floyd, stronger than Floyd, but skills pay the bills.
The dream of this fight is now turning into a reality. After years of stalled negotiations, talks between Canelo and Crawford have gained momentum, and fans are in awe. The boxing world has been buzzing with excitement since reports surfaced that this fight might actually happen. Fans, analysts, and fighters alike have all weighed in with their predictions, and while most have made Canelo the favorite, some have started to back Crawford. One surprising voice in support of Crawford is Jake Paul. On the debut episode of the Ring Champ show, Jake Paul, alongside his business partner Nakisa Bidarian, discussed the potential matchup. Paul pointed out that the weight difference could make this fight interesting. He expressed concern about Crawford's ability to match the skills of the unified super middleweight champion, given the significant increase in weight. However, Paul also believes that Crawford's skill set, proven repeatedly throughout his career, gives him an edge. Terence has the skills and is a bit fresher than Canelo, said Paul, noting that Crawford only fought once last year, compared to Canelo's 2 fights in Guadalajara. Paul concluded, "If I had to put my money on it, I'd probably go with Crawford." This support for Crawford was surprising, as most of the combat sports world is leaning towards Canelo. Nakisa Bidarian, however, disagreed with Paul on the podcast, saying, "I think Canelo destroys him." Other figures in boxing have expressed similar views. A few months ago, Matchroom Boxing's Eddie Hearn confidently predicted that Canelo would easily beat Crawford. He pointed to the size difference as a deciding factor. "Crawford can't really compete in that fight because he's at a huge size disadvantage," Hearn said. Demetrius Andrade, another fighter who has faced Crawford, also weighed in. Although he acknowledged Crawford's skill,
I think Floyd trying not to get
Andrade emphasized that size matters in this fight. "Canelo is a big, strong guy," he said. "Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to taking Canelo's shots and blocking them, that's where it becomes a tough fight for Crawford." WBC interim light heavyweight champion David Benavidez, who also hopes to fight Canelo, set aside his grudge and admitted that Crawford is a unique fighter. However, he still gives Canelo the edge, believing that weight classes should be respected. "I give Canelo the edge," Benavidez said, adding that nothing is proven yet. As for Crawford, moving up 2 weight classes and giving up 14 pounds is a daunting challenge, but he has no problem with it. Negotiations for the fight are now in full swing, with both teams working out the final details. As the
Floyd slick still at this
showdown approaches, the boxing world remains divided on how it will unfold. Some believe that Crawford's skills can overcome the size disadvantage, while others think that Canelo's power and experience at a higher weight will be too much for Crawford to handle.
He hasn't learned how to lose yet. I think he does have those special ingredients that go beyond the physical genetics, the physical DNA. So that's it. Okay, good. You don't like it? Too bad.
Moving up by 14 pounds to fight a top-level super middleweight is no small task, especially when that opponent is a pound-for-pound legend like Canelo Alvarez, who has been dominant in the super middleweight division since 2020. A potential matchup between Canelo and Terence Crawford would be called a super fight due to the challenges both fighters pose and the impressive accomplishments that have brought them to this point. Israel Mendez, who fought Crawford last year, gave his thoughts on the upcoming battle between Crawford and Canelo. Mendez, who lost to Crawford in August during their WBA light middleweight title fight, weighed in on the potential clash. After 12 rounds of intense boxing, Crawford won with a unanimous decision, claiming his fourth world title across multiple divisions. Now, Crawford has his sights set on Canelo Alvarez, the reigning unified WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight champion. This eagerly awaited fight is tentatively scheduled for September in Las Vegas.
I didn't like that.
No. And he's just literally earmuffs.
Though it has yet to be officially confirmed. Turki Alik, the head of the Real Season, has been heavily involved in negotiations, pushing for this major showdown between two of boxing's biggest stars. After months of speculation, it looks like the two pound-for-pound champions are finally set to meet in the ring. In a recent interview with Boxing News, Mendez was asked for his opinion on the fight. He didn't give Crawford much hope of overcoming the challenge of moving up in weight classes to face the Mexican sensation. His response was clear: it's a very different weight class. Canelo will win, I think by decision. Mendez believes that Canelo's size will be a major factor, but he remains focused on his own return to the ring next month after his first career loss to Crawford. Also weighing in on the fight is WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson. He shared his prediction that Crawford could still outbox Alvarez despite the challenge of stepping up to super middleweight. He told IFL TV that Crawford's skills would give him the edge to outbox Canelo, even though some view the weight increase as a disadvantage. Crawford's trainer also gave insight into the matchup. He revealed that the fight will take place without a rehydration clause, meaning Canelo won't be restricted in how much weight he can regain after weighing in. The trainer criticized the rehydration rule, calling it unfair, especially considering Canelo's history of competing at higher weight classes than Crawford. He emphasized that once both fighters step on the scale and make weight, they should fight without additional restrictions. Both Crawford and Alvarez are accomplished champions, with Crawford boasting a perfect record of 41-0, while Alvarez's record stands at 62-2, with his only losses to Floyd Mayweather, the Jr. and Dimitri Bivol, both top-tier pound-for-pound talents. Crawford has been calling out Alvarez for a while, and with the support of Saudi sports minister Turki Alik, it seemed like the fight was almost a certainty. However, Canelo's demands for a huge payday have kept the fight from officially moving forward, despite Crawford's strong desire to take on the challenge. A crucial moment in Crawford's career came 2 years ago when he faced Errol Spence Jr. Expectations for the fight were high, with many thinking it would be Crawford's toughest test. But Crawford proved his critics wrong with a dominant 9th-round TKO. Afterward, some in the boxing world criticized Crawford for allegedly weight-draining Spence, but Crawford's trainer insists that he won't use the same tactics against Canelo. Canelo's success was largely promoted by Oscar de la Hoya, but their relationship has soured in recent years. Both men have continued to thrive in their respective careers despite the falling out. Canelo is currently the top super middleweight in boxing, but a fight with Terence Crawford this year could test his title. David Benavidez, another boxer eager to face Canelo, will fight this weekend against David Morrell. If Benavidez ever gets a chance to face Canelo, de la Hoya believes there will only be one winner, Benavidez. He stated in a recent interview with Fight Hub TV that Benavidez would win and win easily, as he believes Canelo's age is starting to show, and he's naturally slowing down. Canelo has been a dominant force in the super middleweight division, and his legacy is solidified. However, a fight with Terence Crawford would present a major challenge, one that Crawford has been eager for. Despite many considering Canelo the favorite, former two-weight world champion and boxing analyst Tim Bradley shared a different perspective. On his YouTube channel, Bradley boldly predicted a
there's like people on my head right now. So 2-minute rounds.
Win for Crawford. He explained that he woke up one morning with a strong feeling about the fight and believed Crawford would decisively defeat Canelo.
Over. Starting two, very nice.
Yep. With those hooks straight
Floyd
to
showing him it ain't no game.
What's good? I'm back again, the biggest hater in the sport of boxing. Yo, real quick, just got done. I woke up 3 a.m. I don't know, something told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is. Number 2, Devin Haney. You want to get back, man, go back to your roots, bro. Go back to where you started, bro. Where'd you start? You started in Mexico, man. Go back, get one of those guys out of there, man. Go back, start there. That's where you start. Go back to your roots, bro. Get some of that humble pie, bro. Go back, start where you started. Start where you started at. And bro, I'm telling you, you go back where you started, you're gonna come back up on top. Peace.
Crawford will be determined to prove Timothy Bradley's analysis correct as he aims to defeat Canelo and join the small group of fighters who have managed to beat the Mexican champion. In May 2022, Alvarez suffered a loss to Dimitri Bivol in the light heavyweight division, marking nearly 10 years since his first professional loss against the legendary Floyd Mayweather in 2013. Meanwhile, Bob Arum, the head of Top Rank, isn't ruling out the possibility of this major showdown. During a recent interview, Arum, now 93, shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated match. Having worked closely with Crawford for many years, Arum knows the fighter's abilities inside and out. He didn't hesitate to point out the key to Crawford's potential success in this fight. Arum explained that Crawford's unique talent sets him apart. He's a great boxer puncher and completely ambidextrous. This confuses opponents because they train to fight a right-handed fighter, only to end up facing a southpaw. This was the case with Errol Spence, who was thoroughly outclassed in their 2023 bout. What was expected to be a competitive fight quickly turned into a one-sided victory for Crawford. Arum added that Spence was trained to fight a right-handed opponent, but instead, all he faced was a southpaw. Arum believes that Crawford is aiming for a fight like Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez, where his skills could be put on full display. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.